Good morning and welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. While we continue with the program, joining us via phone, we have Dr. Winford James, political analyst, who will be talking to us a little bit about the election results. And just before we get into it, just to remind you, it was a 1-all tie in the local government by-election yesterday. The ruling People's National Movement lost the Barataria electoral district by 108 votes. The PNM held the Barataria electoral district since 2013. In Belmont East, the PNM retained this electoral district, but the UNC had an increased number of votes when compared to 2016. It got 151 as compared to just 49 in that year. The PNM won with 594 votes. In the end, the councillor-elect for Belmont East is Nicole Young, and for Barataria is Sharon Dara Miraj. Good morning, Dr. James. How are you this morning?
Good morning, ma'am, and I'm strong and good.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'd like to hear your views. What are your thoughts on the election results? Did they come as a surprise?
Well, I think the PNM expected to win both seats since they held them the last time. And incumbency normally favors, the election results normally favor the incumbent. Incumbency is always a plus. This time, incumbency didn't work for the PNM in Barataria, and the UNC picked up a seat that it didn't have before, right? So we've got the two seats split between both major parties, and the UNC obviously has something to crow about, especially the current leadership, because Mrs. Prasad Bisesa needed a victory, given some of the rumblings that we have been hearing in her camp. PNM continues with Belmont East. But we are talking small numbers and small victories. When the UNC has more to celebrate this time than the PNM, clearly. But we are talking small numbers. The victory does not affect the political control of Sawa Barataria, the regional corporation, or what is it called? These names. But it doesn't affect the PNM's hold over that particular corporation. But the PNM, of course, might want to take the victory as a message, a victory by the UNC here. It's lost in Sawa Barataria. It might want to take that loss as an indication, very clear, that some people in the population that used to support it before no longer do. You know, of course, elections are fickle things, especially in that area, Sawa Barataria. There have been ups and downs with respect to, which party is favored. So it's not as if the fact that the UNC wins now, it will win in the parliamentary elections. But nonetheless, it's a wake-up call to the PNM that not everybody approves of the way it is governing the country. So that is a big victory for the UNC in that sense. But overall, we are talking small numbers. Nothing for any party to crow about, either the PNM by winning Belmont East or the UNC by winning Sawa Barataria.
Now, you mentioned the small numbers. However, it's been reported that the voter turnout was more than 2016. Why do you think it generated more interest this time around?
Well, it's not much more. I don't have the specific figures, but there may have been a small increase, but I don't know that in respect of either of the areas, the increase was such as to be remarkable. I don't think so. I can't say why it is we have an increase because of the small percentage of the increase, but I cannot deny that there was an increase. So that's an answer, a question that I couldn't answer, at least not at this time.
Sure. Now, Dr. Rowley said the PNM still maintains control of the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation, and he is proud of the way the election campaign went. But what do you think, what does it mean for the PNM now in terms of their strategy, in terms of their move? Do you think that they would have some sort of realignment or something of that sort?
Well, if the PNM lost a seat that it held, it's got to pay attention. It's got to ask itself. One never knows for sure what's going on. One makes educated guesses. But if it has lost the seat that it held, and it lost that seat through the natural death of the holder of that seat, and it lost that seat while it thinks, the PNL that has been turning around the economy, that has been making the right decisions, then clearly something did not work according to their plan and their expectations. So they need to analyze what is it that happened that did not make them hold on to the seat. And they have to ask themselves if this is an indication of what is to come 2 years from now. They have to ask themselves, well, is this going to cause a domino effect perhaps in other regional corporations that the PNM hold at this time? So they've got to be a little bit concerned, if not worried, because as I said, they continue to hold control of that particular corporation. But any mature party will examine all the possibilities and take the steps that they need in that particular local district and perhaps other like districts throughout the country. So I think it's a kind of a wake-up call to the PNM. It's the first test electorally of whether they have been going in line with the people's expectation. It's the first test, the electoral test. So they're going to pay attention.
And on the flip side, what does it now mean for the UNC? How will this victory impact them moving forward?
Well, the UNC can hope because it's a victory, right? It's a victory that they didn't have the last time. So they can hope that enough people are disenchanted with the PNM, right, allowing them to, to think, to get another lease on life kind of, to think that they're still in the game. The PNM, of course, always thinks it's in the game. So the UNC can celebrate a certain positivity that they really needed. They have not been doing very well, and a lot of their supporters have expressed unhappiness with the leadership. So now that they have gained this small victory, they should crow. But they should ask themselves if they have done enough. Clearly, no right-thinking political leader can think that they have done enough by merely winning, yes? So, but they do have a foot inside the door now, and they can build on that edge that they have picked up in Sama Barrett area. They have an opening which they can expand, right? But it's of course not enough to think that they are the alternative, although of course they are beginning to talk like that predictably.
And also my final question, and just quoting from our newscast, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, and I quote, she said, the message sent on Monday is that the people are fed up with the non-performing, incompetent, arrogant, corrupt, and clueless government of Dr. Keith Rowley. What are your thoughts on her statement?
Well, that's predictably also extreme, isn't it? That's what we have come to expect in the political or the culture of political response in this country. So you win a little victory, and already you're making these big, outrageous claims, I would say, that the country is fed up, of the PNM. I don't think any such thing has happened. Although, of course, we are all making opinions here. But I don't think, given the small numbers that I started off observing, I don't think the small numbers are any basis, any kind of basis for one to generalize about the attitude of the population. I don't think that is the case at all. But as I said, a new breath of fresh air perhaps is now blowing within the UNC camp, and it can probably energize their attempts to regain power the next time around. But this is Prasad Bises's statement is clearly extreme.
Dr. James, what are your closing comments at this time?
Well, all I would say here is that we don't have enough data to make a general prognosis of what is to come. We cannot take what has happened in the elections there in Barataria as a barometer of what is going to happen later on, 2 years from now, right? But, you know, the UNC has cause to be a little bit positive, optimistic here because they have won a seat. And the PNM, of course, must also be concerned because they have lost a seat, right? But the Barataria and Belmont elections are not a sufficient basis for us to generalize about the PNM fortunes or UNC fortunes 2 years from now.
Thank you so much, Dr. James. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you for taking the time to take our call this morning.
You're welcome, Verna.
We've been chatting with political analyst Dr. Winford James, talking to us about the results of the by-election for Barataria and Belmont East.